Jordan Peterson, Propagandizing for Hitler.
I've spent a lot of time studying Hitler because I'm interested in ideological possession. And Hitler's a great example of that because his ideology was so harsh, but it was also so attractive to people. It was so unbelievably attractive. And you got to ask how the hell you account for something like that. So you look at the order. There's a line down the middle there where the leaders walk, and that's at Nuremberg. And then it's just surrounded by these masses and masses and masses of people in lines and all these orderly displays of power. And then there's Hitler there like this. And one of the things Hitler was really proud of was the fact that he could stand like that for like 8 hours. And that was willpower, as far as he was concerned. And he was a worshiper of willpower. And he bathed 4 times a day. So he's also somebody who was very much obsessed with cleanliness. Cleanliness and willpower and order. So that's Hitler. Hitler washed his hands a lot. He bathed 4 times a day. And he was also a real worshiper of willpower. And orderly people have strong willpower. And Hitler was a great admirer of willpower. He was very happy that he could stand in the back of his car for 8 hours and keep his hand out like this. And he bathed 4 times a day. Hitler bathed 4 times a day. And he was also an admirer of willpower, so he could stand like this for 8 hours in the back of a car.
Those claims are false. There's no evidence Hitler ever held a salute for 8 hours. And no credible source says he bathed 4 times a day. These are exaggerations and fabrications. They flatter Hitler, making him seem larger than life, obsessed with willpower and cleanliness. This is not so subtle praise and justification for Hitler. Peterson frames Hitler and the Nazis as driven by disgust, not hatred or bigotry, implying that Nazi policies were about hygiene rather than exclusionary and genocidal racial hygiene. Peterson also takes every opportunity to give a full Hitler salute under the guise of educational demonstration, as if that were ever necessary for such a straightforward and loaded gesture.
Hitler, he's kind of a chaotic guy, He's very angry. He's angry in part because he was a frustrated art student. He tried to get into art school like 4 times, so really the person to blame for World War II was the 4-person committee that wouldn't let poor Hitler into I believe it was the Viennese School of Art, because he really wanted to go. And he had some artistic talent. He was a little on the conventional side, by all appearances, but I've seen some of his sketches, and he wasn't a complete piker, and he kind of felt maybe it would be okay for him to go to university because he'd just been through World War I, and that wasn't much fun. There's a story about Hitler where he was out in the trenches, and he was there with all his buddies, and he wandered off to do whatever he wandered off to do, and when he came back they were all dead because a bomb had landed right in the middle of them. And you might think that would do a little something to your psyche, because after an experience like that you're either going to think, oh man, things are pretty damn random and horrible, or there's something pretty damn special about me because I wasn't killed by the bomb. Maybe God has saved me for a higher purpose. I mean, you can be absolutely sure that if you went through an experience like that something like that would be rattling around in your mind. First of all, there was World War I, and so there was many men, like Hitler himself, who served in the trenches. And there's one story about Hitler. He won a medal for heroism in World War I, and he was sitting around with a group of his buddies and went off to do something, God only knows what. And when he came back, they were all dead because a mine had, not a mine, I don't remember, some kind of shell had landed in the middle of them, killed them all. It's like, that changes you.
Yeah. There's no historical evidence for this anecdote about Hitler. It was invented to cast him as a special survivor, set apart, at least in his own mind, for a higher purpose. Praisefully lying about Hitler, joking about him, and finding excuses to perform the Hitler salute are key ways of covertly signaling a far-right alignment with plausible deniability. This is crypto-fascism. Jordan Peterson is a crypto-fascist.